Hello and welcome to the Potty Mouth Preacher, healing the weight of your past so you no longer carry it into the present. On today's episode, I am kicking off my new healing series and going to tell you about my new monthly healing group that you get for free when you sign up for next year's Worthy Woman Wellness Retreat. Stay tuned. As always, I'm now going to help you shift gears. I know you're busy. I know you got a lot of things going on. So let's just take a couple minutes just to center yourself, just to shift gears. So give me 3 deep cleansing breaths in, really exhaling out all that shit that's just inside of you, all that intensity. One more time. Another deep cleansing breath. And pretend like your device has a trap door on the back of it, and you're going to leave on the other side all of your roles and responsibilities that you're happy to play, but you're going to give yourself the gift of just being yourself in here, just thinking about yourself. So exhaling out your roles and responsibilities as wife, mother, daughter, niece, granddaughter, grandmother, employer, employee, stay-at-home mom, student. And I know you've got things weighing heavy on your heart. That's probably why you're tuning in today. And you're just going to leave those things on the outside of this device. Any thoughts you know aren't serving you, any doubt, anxiety, fear, shame, anger, disappointment, resentment, leave it on the outside of this device. You're not going to need it while you're in here. And give me 3 more deep cleansing breaths in. And another one. One last time. Slowly open up your eyes and welcome back to the Potty Mouth Preacher. So we're going to get right into celebrations. Celebrations are those seemingly insignificant steps, thoughts too, thoughts are huge, that you take every single day, every second of the day that you might not notice, right? Because you're only focusing on the negative, what you didn't do, what you coulda, shoulda, woulda done. So you're going to start noticing all of the evidence that you have that things are actually working in your favor, that you are actually being the woman that God created you to be, that you are aligning every thought, action, decision, person, and behavior with your North Star, your powerful I am statement. Watch the last episode if you have not, or episode 2 where I go dig deep into the I am statements, which is really the foundation of everything we do. So my celebration, I'm celebrating one of my clients who came to me because she could not stop overeating for years, right? She tried everything. And I say try because either you are or you're not. And she was not. So she tried Overeaters Anonymous, she tried Weight Watchers, psychologists, psychiatrists, counselors, medication, hypnosis, meditation, you name it, she tried it. And she said she was desperate. That's why she hired me. That's what I hear a lot, actually. People come to me and they're like, you're my last hope. I'm desperate, Lisa, to make this craziness that I've gotten myself into end, this cycle of gaining weight and losing myself, this cycle of whatever it is, right? And basically you're losing yourself. So she said to me, there's no way I can ever heal this. There's no way I will ever be able to stop ordering Instacart, stop binging. And you can imagine she's not ordering chicken and broccoli on Instacart, right? When drop in comments if you have ever binged on anything. If you've ever binged on broccoli and chicken, I would like to know this. Go ahead and post that in comments too. Don't forget to like, rate, review, and subscribe to the Potty Mouth Preacher so even more women can get healed from the weight of the past so they no longer bring it into the present. So if you can relate to binge eating, emotional eating, any kind of overeating, drop it in comments. Just drop a yes, I have, just so she doesn't feel so alone. Let's start banding together so we don't feel so alone in our healing journeys, okay? So this woman went from, I cannot possibly, there's no way I'm going to be able to stop ordering Instacart. There's no way I'm going to ever be able to convince myself to not binge, right? To sending me this message. When you're a private client, you get to message me, text message me 24/7. I don't answer 24/7 because I have boundaries. But it's a great thing because I know this because when you go to therapy or even if you hire another coach, right? There's a lot of time that happens in between sessions. A lot of shit goes wrong. And I don't want to get in the session and just be having you catch up me on everything that happened in between our last session. I'd rather we move much quicker when we work on it in between sessions and then we get into the session. It's like, okay, let's move on to the next thing. So in Voxer, that's the texting app that I use, this is what she just wrote to me. And she's been with me for 6 months now. She said, I very much was wanting to eat all day. And then she said habit energy, meaning she recognized that this was a habit, right? Her brain is familiar to her brain. Our brains love familiarity, even if it's unhealthy familiarity. So she said, I didn't need to peace process. If you want to know what that is, that's a healing technique that I'm certified in. Go ahead and watch back a couple episodes on healing and you'll see what that is. So instead of, she didn't even need it. She was able to skip the actual healing technique that I have taught her to do so that she doesn't order Instacart and doesn't overeat. And instead, she had this self-talk, quote, sweet self, don't you love that? Your body needs food. Your emotions and thoughts do not need food. So feed your body and do other things. All right, mic drop. I asked her permission to share this because I thought it was so powerful. She went from 6 months ago, there's no way I will ever be able to stop overeating, stop ordering Instacart, to learning my healing technique, which I have already described in a few episodes, and I'm going to be going into more detail over the next healing series. But she was able to even skip the healing technique, realizing I don't need that right now. I just need to talk nice to myself, right? Talk myself off the ledge. Because I say, if you are driving in a car and you make a wrong turn, do you then drive off the cliff? Well, fuck it. I've already, gotten lost. I might as well drive off the cliff. No, you simply head back in the right direction. So for her, the right direction is feeding her body for fuel, right? Not feeding her emotions and her negative thoughts, but actually feeding her body. So that brings me to our real talk. Let's get in it. All right, so I am kicking off a healing series, and this all came about very organically because, as you know, some of you are watching, drop in comments if you are in my healing group, because I decided to do a free healing group. I did actually a couple of them, right? And just see where women are and what's going on in their life and what's happening. And very quickly learned, whoa, women want this. Women are desperate for this. This is them telling me, right? I'm desperate for this. Like, I don't know what else to do. And The overall arching theme is that women feel completely overwhelmed, pulled in a million different directions, which is why at the beginning of this episode, I helped you shift gears so you can just focus on yourself. Because I don't want you bringing all your outside shit into this episode with me. Just like when I have the healing groups, I don't want you bringing all that in, right? So it's just a time to focus on you. The difference though is that you will be bringing your shit in because we're going to heal your shit now. That was the first group that I did, and I was just shocked, honestly, at the response that I got of women who came, women who wanted to come. They're like, when's the next one? Because they need healing. And when I talk about healing, right, one of the women in the group, Rosa is her name, she said, we're healing trauma in here. That's what we're doing. We're healing trauma. And trauma is on a continuum. What's traumatic for me might not affect you at all. A lot of people think, oh, I don't have any trauma because I was never molested. I was never raped. They think it has to be this like really, sinister, evil thing that happened in their childhood or their life. And that's not true. If you are walking around breathing, right, if you're human, you have trauma. And trauma comes up every single day, actually, right? It was funny because the one woman in the group, Melissa is her name, she said, oh, I'm just here to support you, Lisa. I don't really have anything to heal. When I asked them, what do you want healing on? And then while we're in the call, the IRS calls her, and there's this whole thing, right? That's going to make your heart race a little. That's going to cause some trauma inside of you when the fucking IRS is tracking you down. And so we got to do a healing in real time while she was on the Zoom call in the healing group, so that when somebody finally got on the phone, right on the other end, and the IRS is on the other end talking to her, she's showing up in a non-emotional state. Because when emotions are high, intelligence is low. You probably heard that before. I did not coin that. And she needed to have her intelligence as high as possible talking to the fucking IRS, right? So we were able to get her from, she was over a 10 with anxiety, right, down to a 0/1. There was still a little bit there, so that she could then be very neutral and intelligent talking to the IRS instead of this emotional stuff. Why are you calling me? I had to do it. I swear I don't know. I swear I pay my taxes, right? Instead of that, she was like, hello, what can I help you with today? What seems to be the problem? So that was much different. Another woman in there, Sylvia, she said, I'm just here to support. It's funny how all of them are just there to support me, right? This is funny to me. I hear this a lot. And then suddenly she's hearing other women share what they need healing from, right? Suddenly Sylvia's like, I'm lying to myself. I'm not fine. Go back and watch my episode on the real curse words, right? The real F word. I say the real F word is not what you think it is. It's not fuck. The real F word, the real curse word is fine. Saying you are lying to yourself if you're saying I'm fine. I'm fine. How many times has your husband said to you, are you mad at me, honey? No, I'm fine. I'm fine. So go back and watch that episode so you stop saying the real words that curse you. Okay? The F word. Fine. And anyway, she's like, I have a whole list of things that are going on in my life. Very big, major, heavy things, right? And she's telling herself at the beginning of the call she's fine. So then guess what? She got a chance to heal the thing that was distressing her the most, right? Because healing, it's layered, right? You go, okay, I think it's this that I need healing from, but actually it's this. That's really what happens in these groups. So even if you're sitting out there going, no, I don't need healing. No. I'm fine. I got a handle on it. I'm fine, Lisa. I'm fine. I'm just supporting you, watching your podcast. I guarantee you something comes up. So healing is not just for big major traumas. Healing is for every single day when shit happens to you, right? If you find yourself saying, why does this keep happening to me? Why do I keep attracting this kind of man, this kind of friend, this kind of job? Why does fill in the blank keep happening to me? That's a clue you need some healing, girl, right? If certain things throughout the day, maybe just something is just, say I spill this water and I freak out over it, right? I just like go crazy about it. That's a sign I need some healing, because spilling a little bit of water, it's just water. It's going to dry, right? There's something underneath that. And this is what this is not. This is not therapy. This healing group is not therapy. I used to be in the therapy world. I was an addictions counselor. I don't believe in therapy where you talk yourself to death, right? I believe in let's figure out what is distressing you the most right now, briefly touch on it, and then see where you're feeling it in your body. That is what healing is. Healing is not talking it to death. Healing is not analyzing it, right? Healing doesn't even have to be you telling me the actual circumstance or situation, right? You just know you're feeling it in your body somewhere. When I heal strangers that I don't know, I seem to always be healing people at the gym. I don't know what's going on there. At the gym, I'm constantly healing people who are having panic attacks during workouts or just found out they had breast cancer. Now, most of the people that I do healings on that I don't know, they never even tell me really what's going on. They're having a visceral reaction in their body, right? Something's happening in their body. They can't breathe. They think they're dying. Their heart is racing. And I heal them from that. So healing isn't even about telling me in the group what it is you need healing from. You're just kind of telling yourself and seeing where you feel it in your body. And the power of doing this together in a group on a monthly basis, we're going to meet twice a month, is that you don't feel so alone, right? A lot of us women walk around, like you see on social media, everyone else's life looks better than yours, right? Wow, look at that mom doing it all. Look at that wife doing it all. Look at that grandma doing it all happily and with a smile on her face and singing like Julie fucking Andrews through the hill as she's doing it, right? And I'm sitting here going, losing my mind. Why can't people take out the garbage? Why is it they have to pile it up and keep shoving it down? Drop in comments if your family does that, right? God forbid they take the garbage out. They just keep shoving more garbage in, shoving more garbage in. Drop in comments if that's you. So the power of coming together twice a month is that we get to come together with no distractions, no interruptions, because I want you to treat this as though we were meeting in person, right? If you're meeting in person, your husband's not going to come barreling in saying, where's the toilet paper, right? Which gives you a chance to set some boundaries and say, hey, I got this thing going on for an hour and a half, twice a month, and I need you to leave me alone during that time, which is a great practice. And I'm going to have it the same time and same day every month so that you learn to say, no, I'm not available on Thursdays at 7 p.m. Central Time because I have another commitment. That is the biggest thing you will learn. Seriously, if you don't learn anything else in my healing group, my monthly healing group, you're going to learn how to say those magical words. No, I'm not available on that day. I have another commitment. However, I can do it on this day or this time instead. When I had my group babes, badass bitches, empowered, that was the number one thing they all learned. And that group was twice a week. So, yeah. So that is the power of coming together as a group. So you don't feel alone. So there's no distractions, no interruptions. and you get to focus on what's going on. So, because what happens is if we don't tend to what's going on inside of our bodies, that is when we do overeat. Like my client I told you about at the beginning, right? That's when we overeat. That's when we turn to sugar, alcohol, binge watching, scrolling social media, scrolling the damn TikTok till 3 a.m, right? Because you're numbing out. Or we start gaining weight, right? Or we start having physical symptoms. We start having headaches, stomach aches, right? Hemorrhoids, whatever it might be. You start having physical symptoms. If you do not tend to your emotional health, it will show up as a physical symptom. I guarantee that. I also guarantee you, in these groups, twice a month, you will get to a place of peace. Peace is inevitable. It's unavoidable. Meaning, I don't care what state you come into in this group, you will leave in a peaceful state. And you will leave with tools so you can practice what you learn in the group outside in your life, right? Because I don't have you in a bubble. I don't have you in a bubble like I do on Worthy Woman Wellness Retreats. I have you in a 4-night, 5-day little bubble where there is literally no distractions, no interruptions, all the time in the world to focus on yourself, all the time in the world to leisurely eat your meal. There's no housework. There's no errands. You are in this beautiful, serene Caribbean setting with other women on the same journey as you. That is what you have on the retreat. You're not going to have that in the group though, right? So what's going to happen is we're going to meet monthly in the group, heal all your shit, give you a chance to practice when you're outside of the group, right? Come back into the group and say, this worked, this didn't work so well. And keep practicing. And then we're all going to go together and be in this luxurious bubble together in the Caribbean next year. How does that sound, right? You're going to get to meet all of these women over the course of like the next 8 months. And you're going to be bonding together in our healing group and then meeting each other in person. And we can laugh and cry and hug and think back on the last 8 months, how far we've come, right? Because you're going to be seeing, wow, starting in August, this is starting in August, my Worthy Women Healing Group is starting in August. And you're going to see how far, by the time we get to the retreat, you're going to look back and say, who was that woman that started in August? I remember. You're going to be like my client that I just told you about, right? You might start the healing group thinking like she did. There's no way I can heal this, Lisa. I've been doing this for years. There's absolutely no way I can heal this certain thing, just like she did. And then on the retreat next year, we're all going to be laughing, saying, remember when you said you couldn't heal that? Remember what a state you were in when you first started in August? Yes, the best part, though, this is the best part. You're going to like this part. Do you like the word free? Who likes the word free? Drop in comments. Give me a hell yes if you like stuff that's free. Guess what? Worthy Woman Healing Group, the monthly healing group, is free. Free. When you sign up for the retreat. When you sign up for Worthy Woman Wellness Retreat that's happening next year, you get Worthy Woman Healing Group, the monthly healing group, for free for guess what? 1 year. 1 year. I'm doing this because this is what I want, right? This is what I wish. When I was on my healing journey, I wish I had this opportunity, right? To sign up for a retreat we're working backwards. I'm a big believer in working backwards. When I was an elected official on the school board in Manhattan. I was. Can you believe that? And at my first executive board meeting, I told them, let's think about where we want to be next year at this time and work backwards. What do we need to do to get there? And so I'm doing that with this whole retreat next year, right? Think about when you are in the Caribbean on this beautiful, secluded island and you're getting doted on, right? A world-class chef is cooking whatever you want, whether you're vegan, a carnivore, right? Whatever it is you want to eat. You're eating these delicious meals leisurely. Drop in comments, when was the last time you ate a meal leisurely? Not shoving it in because you got to get to work or to the gym or to drop your kids off, right? Eating leisurely meals. We're going to be laughing, talking, very meaningful, deep conversation. I don't think there'll be much small talk on this retreat once we've been together for an entire year beforehand and doing all this healing work, bearing our souls, right? So think about this. A year from now, where do you want to be? When you're in this beautiful setting in the Caribbean, what are you going to look like? And when I say look, like when you look in the mirror, what are you going to see? What is your self-talk going to be? What are other people saying about you? Are they saying, I want what she has? Like when Harry met Sally and she has the orgasm at the table, I'll have what she's having. Is that going to be you? What kind of job are you going to be doing? How are you going to feel every day when you wake up? A year from now, how do you want to feel every day when you wake up? Like if you had a magic wand and you could have your life, yourself, your looks, everything, how you feel, be exactly the way you want it to be a year from now, what will that look like? That's your soul work. I'm jumping ahead a little, but that's your soul work. As I want you to write out a year from now, what do you want your life to look like? What are you going to be telling the other women on Worthy Woman Wellness Retreat about where you are now, meaning at the retreat, a year from now, compared to where you were a year ago? And then you work backwards. And that's what I'm going to help you with in the healing group. Like, it's not just healing either, right? I'm a coach too. I can't help it. Like, I got to force myself to not coach people, right? It drives my husband crazy. Stop coaching me. Stop coaching me. Stop therapizing me. Stop using all that psychology jargon on me. It's hard for me to not coach. So it's also going to be coaching also. So I just want to make that clear. So work backwards. Where do you want to be if you had a magic wand? And how would that change your life? What in your life would actually change? If you had everything exactly the way you wanted to be, how would that change? How you show up in your life, how you feel about your life, how you feel about yourself. How would that change your relationships, your job? And then I want you to be honest with yourself. And what is stopping you? How come you don't already have that now? Like the truth. Why don't you have exactly what you want now? Why aren't you being who you want to be right now? How come your life doesn't look the way it looks right you want it to right now? Be honest with yourself. What is actually stopping you from getting what you want? I want you to start thinking about this, because I am going to drop a link, Worthy Woman Healing. I'm not going to. My producer, Steve Demetrius, amazing. If you need an audiobook guy or a podcast producer, he's your guy. He's going to drop a link here, Worthy Woman Healing, and you're going to apply to be part of this free monthly healing group leading up to the retreat. Because I got to make sure it's a good fit. And I got to make sure that you are clear on your why. Like, why do you want to do this? What is it that's keeping you awake at night? If only I could fill in the blank. Maybe it's if only I could stop, fill in the blank, right? Okay, I had to take a breath for a second. I'm learning to do that, by the way. I am learning to say to myself, I need a breath. I need to center myself. So your soul work is, if you had a magic wand, what would you want? What is a year from now? What would you want? And a year from now, what are you going to be saying to the women that you're sitting with on the outside terrace, enjoying an amazing meal in the Dominican Republic, in the Caribbean? What are you going to be saying about your life now compared to a year ago? And what is stopping you from getting that? And the last thing you're going to do for your soul work is apply to the Worthy Woman Healing Group. We are starting in August. We're not waiting. We are not waiting. We are starting. And remember, you get the retreat. Sign up for the retreat, and you get Worthy Woman Healing Group for free. Why? Because you are worth it.